in both your prior role and your new role at Econsultancy, you have a chance to talk to a lot of CMOs and other senior marketing folks, and with regards to what you talk to them about and mistakes they're making in 2009, and what are those mistakes, and do you think they'll make different mistakes in 2010? Or will they will they be making some of the same mistakes that they've been making?
The good news is they're throwing more money into the digital channel. The bad news is not as much as they should. Digital is cheaper than traditional, and the recession has naturally led to some cost cutting. But I think CMOs are still going with what they know, and what they know is traditional, and we might have to sit back and wait for a generational shift for this to really change. I think there are some notable exceptions to this, particularly in companies that are trying to appeal to the youth market, because there's a perception, which is true, that younger audiences are online. But particularly in B2B companies, I'm not seeing the shift that I think we should be seeing. Fortune published a statistic, I think just this week, that 74% of C-level executives go online every single day to search for business-related products and services. So you really need to be where your audience is, and regardless of who you are, your audience is almost certainly online, unless you're selling goats in some dusty market in some third world country. But I think increased fragmentation of traditional media is going to make television, radio, broadcast, print even less attractive than it already is, and unfortunately for many publishers and broadcasters it is diminishing in attractiveness. CMOs are going to have to follow those trends, and they will follow those trends. We've certainly seen an acceleration of that over the past, say, 3 or 4 years as opposed to 8 or 9 years ago, but still not as fast as it should be.
And do you believe that the B2B CMOs are lagging partially because, unlike many of the e-commerce companies, for example, where you can tie the shopping cart back to very specific last touch point media, there's a quite complex buying cycle that goes on.
Complex buying cycles, longer buying cycles, longer decision-making processes. And, let's be frank about it, less creativity in B2B sales channels than we've seen in consumer. One of the things that's critical to SEO, and I think critical to selling on the web, is content and engagement. People go on the web to be immersive, be informed, even be entertained. I think we've seen some very good examples of this. Work that IBM is, for example, doing on YouTube to sell mainframe computers. But most companies aren't thinking in channels like that, particularly B2B companies. They're going to have to start thinking in channels like that in very much the way that you are. We're sitting in Didit's offices right now, in your company's offices. You've got a whole video set up in this room. There's no reason why more traditional non-internet B2B companies can't produce their own content, video, podcast, websites, blogs around what they do. They just haven't quite made that conceptual leap yet.